What's up, everybody, and welcome back to a new week of our fantasy football show, week 10. Thank you for stopping in. And with that being said, let me introduce you to the co host with the most, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Peter Anderson, Mr. Improv Pete. Got to get them all right.
There you go. Nailed it.
Or he won't join me.
Nailed it. What's going on, sir? How are you?
Amazing. You left off the bigger signing of the day. I don't understand this. I'm
We'll get
disappointed
into
in you.
all of that in just due time. I just want to thank everybody for watching here live every Thursday at 6:30 on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, live. Throw us your comments, your questions, fantasy trades. I love Stumpin' Joe. It's my favorite thing to do. So send him a trade that really makes him think. But let me tell you something. He'll think and give you the right answer. So make sure you subscribe, follow over on Twitch, like the fan page here on Facebook, just so you know exactly when we're going live and all the new content comes out. We go crazy into some stuff. Odell Beckham going to the Rams. Pretty big.
But not the biggest signing of the day. It's not the biggest
You keep
signing
saying.
of the
So
day.
what is the biggest signing of the day then?
Your boy, your favorite quarterback ever, Cam Newton, returning home.
So you think that's bigger than OBJ going to the Rams? I would dispute that.
Well, let me ask you a question, because you're smarter than I am. Which is the higher number, 10 or 7.5?
What's a higher number?
Yeah, which number is bigger?
10.
Oh, well, Cam Newton signed for $10 million. And Odell Beckham, if he got claimed off waivers, was $7.5 million. So therefore, Cam Newton is the bigger signing. And you cannot argue that.
Well, you're going to have your first argument because we have a comment where Rams are morons.
Would be I don't know if that's a fact. They don't need him. It's just going to mess up their team chemistry.
Well, that's what I was going to say. They're realistically a Super Bowl contender, easily the forerunner.
Why he latched on to them.
Yeah, so he latched on, but do you think that him coming in and bringing all that emotion with him, do you think that's going to be the cause of their downfall?
The cause of their downfall will be him if they do not succeed, yes. Because he's going to want the ball. So literally what they did was they replaced Deshaun Jackson, who asked out because he wasn't getting the ball, with Odell Beckham. So, yes, it's only a few week thing, but is he going to... Obviously, he won't play this week, even though they have the Monday night game. If he does, it'll be very limited, but I can't see him playing this week. But realistically, that puts you from a week 11 to 17 of the regular season and wherever you are in the playoffs of dealing with Odell Beckham. So with that being said, can he handle getting, I don't want to say limited touches, but less touches than he's going to want for that many games at a chance to be a winner? We'll find out.
We will. But Cam Newton going over to Carolina.
Well, this is where this becomes a thing. Carolina has made some moves. The number I heard was they made 13 trades from the offseason till now. 13. Trying to win. Sam, as everybody else knew, is not the answer. I saw a stat line the other day, and it was comparing Teddy Bridgewater's stats from last year through, I guess I played 8 games or whatever it was, because I think they had a bye. So his 8 games last year versus Sam's 8 games this year, and it's embarrassing. It's not even close. Touchdowns, everything favors Teddy. So did they make the wrong move trading Teddy?
Absolutely. Teddy should have been their quarterback.
Yeah, the answer is yes. So now how do you compound trading draft picks, signing people, etc.? Sam's now hurt and out 4 to 6 weeks. Their starting quarterback for this week is an XFL guy. The best response to make the fans happy is bring back Cam. So that's what you have here.
Do you think he could take the starting position?
He's going to have every chance to. It's not even an option. PJ Walker is not going to keep that job from Cam. So really, Cam's got about a 5 week tryout to see if he should be back as their long term solution. With that being said, he's only 32 years old, and quarterbacks have a longer shelf life than obviously running backs and stuff like that.
And obviously, his time in Carolina was with Ron Rivera, so it would be completely different.
Yes, but the fans were very upset with Cam, and the fans are part of what matters.
Well,
Fans are the ones that come to the games, pay the tickets, pay the merchandising, etc. So you need to make the fans happy. Is this going to turn into a winning product? They have pieces. They've got a legit running back. They've got a legit wide receiver. They now have a fairly legitimate tight end, not a big name, but a legitimate tight end. So they have the pieces on offense. They have some pieces on defense because they traded for Gilmore. They got Horn, the rookie. So they have pieces. And with there being an extra wild card team, there's always a shot because, as we always talk about, and anybody else coming out of the East. So there's a chance, a small chance, that they can.
well said. Shall we get into next week's fantasy football and actual football games?
Oh,
Let me close a couple things down and get right into it. So, Thursday night, which is just a little bit away from us, we have the Ravens versus the Dolphins. Dolphins are at home.
okay. So this game, Tua doesn't sound like he's going to be able to play again. They're still saying the game time. Doesn't sound like he's going to be able to play. Strike one to the Dolphins. Strike two is the Ravens are already a better team, and strike three for them is Lamar Jackson. And it's you're going to hear this a lot this year. Just an extra game. He's on a record-setting pace. Well, go figure with an extra game. Lamar Jackson's on pace for over 6,000 all-purpose yards, passing, rushing. Yeah, I would say receiving. I don't believe he's caught a pass, but passing, rushing, receiving yards. He's on pace for over 6,000 yards, which would be a record. So, with that being said, do the Dolphins really have a chance with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback?
Is that a question to me?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Okay. So, what are you thinking? Miami losing by 2 scores, 3 scores?
Let me tell you something. The one thing about the Baltimore Ravens, they have been looking just strong. And I feel like they're a force to be reckoned with. And that's why I easily put this game 10 points in favor of the Ravens.
I mean, I know Lamar put up 30 something points last week, but that was an ESPN because I was facing
But
someone
still,
with
you
them.
have the running threat from him. You have the throwing threat.
The
You have
only
players on that
downfall
team.
is your boy is not playing tonight, or is probably not playing tonight. And that would be Latavius Murray. So is that enough to hurt them?
No, not at all. You have, I like to make this argument. People end up talking about tight ends, and there's not enough good tight ends. But the one nice thing about Mark Andrews is he started off slow, and he's really just been a fantasy winner for me every week.
Well,
And he had
unfortunately,
his bye week, so I'm just riding his, 10 to 15 points a game. Sometimes he gets a little bit more, but I don't think in the last 4 or 5 weeks he's fallen under 6 points. So you have these weapons gone, but you also have these top tier fourth, fifth round draft picks for that's just sitting there that you can get points from. I don't think this hurts them. I don't think this does anything to them. Just give the ball to more players. Hollywood Brown, let's go.
so you buying into any of the running backs? You playing? If you had a chance, are you playing Le'Veon Bell? Are you playing?
I have to play
Freeman?
Le'Veon Bell. Let me make
Oh,
a statement right here. I have to play Le'Veon Bell. Do
there
I
you
think
go.
he's going to do great? He's projected for 6.5, but Time will tell. When when you have a team that's so hurting for running backs, it gets tough on that waiver
He
wire.
he did score 10 points last week, so
Well,
10.8 to be exact.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like
And
it's
Miami's not exactly good.
no, they're not. But yeah, definitely, I would say Ravens by 10. I definitely see a showing by Mark Andrews. I think he'll have himself a day.
See, but now are you saying you're seeing a showing from Mark Andrews because you have Mark Andrews,
No, I
or
think I think he's due for a big game. Trust me, I have him. He's due for a big game. I can see that big game being in Miami.
okay? Well, I would hope so, but yeah.
You know what I hope for that another upset of the century? Bills versus Jets. Jets are at home. What happened last week?
Well, the Bills look horrible against Jacksonville. There's not much more you can say about that.
9-6 final score. Jags.
Josh Allen looked like he was playing with his helmet on backwards. You're allowed that every now and then. They still should have beat Jacksonville even with Josh Allen not performing up to expectations. So with that being said, they will absolutely murder the Jets this week just because to get that train back rolling. They have too many weapons. I know the running backs are banged up, but the running backs are never the focal point of this team. So that doesn't affect much. The Jets are what they are. Mike White is back again, which has been very weird because without Wilson, the Jets have been passing a lot better, but Buffalo's defense compared to the Jets' offense is night and day.
How many touchdowns?
That they win by,
Yeah.
I think they'll win by 17,
So do you think
which will cover the spread.
this is Josh Allen's redemption? You definitely want to be. You're happy. You're a Josh Allen fan. You're happy you have him going up against the Jets this week.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, I try to be a realistic Jets fan. You know, I know that they're not great. They show sparks of potential for the future,
I mean,
but
look at the team. They
this is
took down
not.
the Titans.
They did, they
No
did,
laughing matter about that
and the
team.
Jaguars took down the Bills. But guess what? That's just
Every dog
one
has his
thing.
day.
The Jets also got shut out by Denver. So things happen. Could have just been a bad week.
I think that the Bills will win, probably by I would say 14. Um, Nothing spectacular. I think we're seeing a 28-14 game here. Um, maybe
If the Jet
Singletary got 10 points last week in fantasy.
if
Let's
the
bump
Jets
him
don't
another
start
16.
strong, if the Jets don't start strong, there's no way they hang in this game. If they get down like 3 scores early, it's over. They're not gonna be able to hang. The only way that they would keep it close is if like Buffalo, kind of like what happened with the Colts game. Like the Colts were up, and then the garbage time, the Jets almost covered the spread, but threw a pick at the end. Type of deal like that. If the Bills get up big, unless they pull the starters, that game is over quick.
Talking about a game that can end quick. Cowboys versus Atlanta. Cowboys are at home. But Atlanta picking up the dub. Matt
Yeah.
Ryan.
Who did Atlanta
Woo.
play last week? I forget.
Yeah, who did they forget? I'm trying to forget, ladies and gentlemen.
That's who
You
they
can't
played.
blame you can't blame the Saints, but we'll get there next game. You can't blame the Saints. I'm telling you.
Oh, you can't blame him. Well, speaking of tight ends, Kyle Pitts has actually turned it on. He needs to be. He needs to be. I picked Atlanta to win as well, Greg. Just so we're on that wagon. I also picked Atlanta to win last week. I picked Atlanta in this pool to win, but then I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about the other things. I picked them in another app, the Saints to win, and that was a mistake. But anyway, but no, Atlanta.
So
Outside
you
of
see Atlanta
2 weeks
winning this
ago,
game, no problems?
not winning the game. I'm talking about with the spread. Atlanta's going to cover the spread. Can Atlanta win the game? Yeah, Dallas had a major injury. Randy Gregory got hurt in practice, and he's going to miss a few weeks, so that will negate some of that Dallas pass rush. So that will factor into Matt Ryan, and the great equalizer has been Cordell Patterson. So they can definitely hang with them. And Prescott did not look good at all last week. Yeah, he scored fantasy points, but he didn't look good at all. So with that being said, the Falcons could, yes, win the game. The Falcons definitely will cover this spread.
We have a what's up, fellas, from Mr. JML. What's going on, buddy? What's going on? My problem with Atlanta is
That they're in your division. That's your problem with
yeah.
Atlanta.
Well, besides they're in my division,
Yeah.
but what does that team look like now? You know that Calvin Ridley respectfully going out for his mental.
Yeah, but that hasn't mattered.
Yeah, but
They-
that's what I'm saying. But who is stepping up? Why do you think Atlanta will take down the Cowboys? Who, like I said, Zeke, be putting up them points.
Who
You
is
don't think
stepping
that
up?
Zeke's
Did
gonna
you?
have a monster game?
I hate to break it to you. They played last week without Calvin Ridley and beat a Saints team that beat Tampa the week before.
That's because the Saints are the greatest team ever.
So who is stepping up? The same guys who stepped up last week. Cordell Patterson, Kyle Pitts, Zacharias, all those guys. They don't need to have Julio Jones. You know, they didn't win with Julio Jones. They seem to be better without Julio Jones, is where I'm going with it. Is Julio
So do you
Jones
see
above
Atlanta
average
maybe
receiver?
going?
Sure.
Hmm.
Where's Atlanta going? Where's this question? Exactly. See? They are better offensively without Julio Jones because you don't need to force the ball to Julio Jones. You get your guys open. You know who nobody drafted Zacharias. Maybe Russell Gage got drafted, things like that. But you can just spread the ball around. You don't have to be like, oh, we have to get Julio the ball. We have to get Julio the ball. Not anymore. Give Matt Ryan, just throw him, give him a little bit of time, and he's gonna. I don't want to say make you pay, but he's gonna be better than what he's been the last couple of years.
So then my next question goes more on this. Atlanta could, if the playing how they are, they're looking good. The Saints and losing Jameis and just a lot of just befoulment to that team might slip out of a wild card position. Could Atlanta be a wild card going how they're going?
You got to see a few more weeks of it. Again, you got nothing coming out of the NFC East. So you're
Yeah.
literally sitting here with the West, the South, and the North competing for the wild card spots. Now break that down to get the North. Detroit's already out. The Bears are pretty much out. So you're not fielding a lot of other teams competing for that final wild card spot. So yeah, if the Panthers who are under 500 think that they're still in it, there's no reason to say the Falcons aren't still in it.
Agreed. I will give this game a touchdown.
Which means that the Falcons cover the spread.
Overtime.
Overtime. Yikes. Doesn't matter. The Falcons cover the spread then.
I don't know, I'm just saying the game's going to end in overtime. I see it.
Okay,
Atlanta
so
by 6.
Falcons cover. Go ahead, move along to this game that you're dying to talk about.
I'm not dying to talk about it. I mean, we all know what's going to happen here. We have the Titans versus the Saints. Titans are at home.
The number one team in the AFC against the team that lost to the Falcons.
Hey, I feel like they could be a playoff team. I don't know what we're going to see here.
Is Drew Brees coming back?
God, I hope so. No.
Okay. Michael Thomas?
Maybe if we're lucky.
Okay, that I'm pretty sure without
Titans
Derrick Henry.
go.
So even without Derrick Henry,
And possibly Julio Jones.
Adrian Peterson carried the load last week. That is what it is. The Titans are still going to win unless Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Marcus Colston.
So you don't see
Jimmy
a
Graham
pairing of Kamara
all
and
come
Ingram.
back. No, not against the Titans. We know I'm busting his balls because Saints are the Saints.
Better than the Jets.
Better
I
than.
think this could be a tough battle, but I see the Saints winning by 30.
There you go. I lost my camera. What else is new?
Oh, shucky ducky.
Tragic.
Because you
I
said
feel like
that
he just
voodoo.
turns it off on me every time I pick against the Saints. He just magically turns it off, so you don't have to see my expressions. He gets all flustered. Pick
All
against
the
the Saints, turn his camera off.
So pretty unanimous. We're gonna go with Titans this game.
Oh boy, that hurts you in your soul to pick against those Saints.
Yeah, right. We got Colts versus the Jags. Colts are home.
Where
Is
do you want
Robinson
to? Where do you
playing?
want to start with there? That's a good question. He didn't practice yesterday.
He did
I
not.
haven't. I did not look into today because sometimes the reports come out a little late. He did not practice yesterday though. That's the first big day. So with that being said,
Let me check for you.
it's going to be very tough for them because the Colts are a very good team. Granted, yes, they beat a very good Buffalo team, but the Colts record may not say it, but the Colts are a much better team than they lead on to believe. I also believe the Colts will cover in this game. Their offense.
Limited practice today.
Okay, so that's a step in the right direction. Obviously, tomorrow will be more telling. But Carson Wentz is coming back to form, not MVP esque form. Like in I think it was the second season where everybody's like, "Oh my God, this guy's going to win MVP." He's not at that form, but he's not as bad as he was the last year and a half in Philly. So he's getting there. Then obviously Pittman's great, Taylor's great. Their tight ends do their jobs. They have the best old linemen in football. All those things favor them. One of the best linebackers in football. So I think the Colts will cover as well.
I was about to say, Greg over here believes the Colts will cover, and you believe so?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I see Robinson playing at the end of the day. From reading briefly of his no card, looking good on his way. So if he plays, I expect some 10 to 15 points. But this Colts team does look good. Let me tell you something. Definitely a team to be on the eye. I will say Colts by 10. Let's give Pittman a good game. Well, you're
Oh,
looking at a
I wonder
strong
why
game
that
from
is.
Pittman here, I
I wonder
feel.
why that one is. So let me just throw this out there. Does it make you feel worse that the Jaguars beat Buffalo without James Robinson as a James Robinson fantasy owner?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay, I was just curious
I
because Carlos
mean,
Hyde didn't really do anything. He fumbled, which what else is new? You can't see my facial expression, but what else is new? He didn't exactly light it up. I mean, he wasn't really expected to light it up, but he didn't do anything. But the fact that they could beat Buffalo without, I guess, their number one offensive playmaker is a little scary.
that it is. What also is scary is the Browns massacring the Patriots. Patriots are at home.
Is that what you're feeling?
No, absolutely not. But I do see the Browns winning.
I also chose the Browns winning. Browns look good. Here's the only part that concerns me: their running backs.
All right, here we got Brown.
It may be a Dearness week because Kareem Hunt's still on injured reserve, and the other two are, I believe, in COVID protocol. I don't know if they actually have COVID, but I believe the other two are in COVID protocol, which means that it might be Dearness Johnson week. Adam Schefter reports Nick Chubb has tested positive for COVID-19. It's a nightmare scenario for the Browns and Chubb drafters. Chubb, who is vaccinated, will need 2 negative tests in order to play. Dearness Johnson would slot in as a starting running back if Chubb cannot go.
Hmm.
So that is a little scary, but the Browns looked pretty good last week. If, without Odell Beckham, getting him out of their hair, they look like a much different team.
More
So I
together team, I would
so
say.
I feel like yes, this is what's gonna put them over the top. They're not gonna win the division, but they should make a wild card team. So this is what'll give them a chance. They have better team unity now.
Agreed, agreed.
Okay, Jarvis Landry is still Jarvis Landry. Peoples Jones is stepping it up. They still have two above average tight ends, so they never really needed Beckham. He was like that shiny new toy that lost its luster, and out the door he went.
I agree. Yeah, everything you said. They got the playmakers on that team. Even if you don't see Nick Chubb by game time, you're still going to see a dominant team in the Browns. They look good last week. I don't see this Patriot team really putting up much of a fight. I feel like they're that team that can win, but for the most part will not. So I put the Browns up by 14 in this game. My prediction, at least.
Okay.
Steelers, Lions. Steelers are home.
And the Steelers don't lose at home, but
It's the Lions, the
the
greatest team on
the,
paper, right?
the Steelers offense. I don't want to call them bipolar, but they're almost bipolar. Like the week before against the Browns, to get their kicker hurt on a fake field goal. I don't know if it's designed fake field goal, but it ended up being a fake field goal, and their kicker got hurt. And then they end up doing some weird things. They end up winning the game, but I don't like. It's like some weeks their offense is perfectly in sync. Then other weeks the Jets might be playing offense for them. I really don't know. They obviously have playmakers. They got Claypool. They got Johnson. They got Harris. So they got weapons galore. It just I just don't know if I can trust them to run up the score.
So we got a couple things to keep up on chat. We had it from JML. Patriots defense struggles against the run, so definitely looking good for the running game if Chubb does play. From Greg over at Facebook, Steelers will take the lead to go to sleep, and then they'll get the Lions will definitely get their first win. I agree with Greg, and that doesn't happen often. And finally, for you, Joe, Mahomes or Herbert this week?
Normally in a normal week, it'd always be Mahomes, Mahomes, Mahomes. The Vikings have 26 players and personnel being tested for COVID right now. So I'm not sure how many of them will actually be able to suit up due to rules, regulations, etc. So I feel like they could be very shorthanded, and the Chargers obviously have a good offense as well. So I think this week I would rather have Herbert.
Well, a couple people in chat over here agrees with you.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, you're right about the Steelers. I think that they do have the weapons. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people may think it may be. Like I think a lot of people think the Steelers are just going to run through the Lions, but I think the Lions will keep it a close game. I do think
That's I
probably
mean
at
with
the end though.
with that spread, that's two scores because even if you get the 2 point conversion, it's only 8. So you need to cover by at least 9. I think the Lions with Swift can hang in there. It's more of will Jared Goff lose them the game?
That is, and that's been the problem over there. I always said I never liked him. I never liked him. You know who else I don't like is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. God,
Oh,
they get me so mad. They are facing Washington, and Washington is home. But does it matter really? Because do we see Tampa just destroying Washington in this scenario?
well, Tampa's coming off a bye, so they should be healthier than normal. Washington's also coming off a bye. Washington needs a few more buys. No problem, Jose. Thanks for stopping in and asking.
Thanks, buddy. Good luck this week.
Washington needs to figure out their offense. Ryan Fitzpatrick is coming. You've had an extended look at Heineke. They really liked Heineke, etc. Now that you've got an extended look at Heineke, it's not looking pretty. So for them to even have a chance at sneaking in and being like a 6-win wild card team, which is probably not going to happen anyway, Fitzpatrick's going to have to come back sooner than later. He's not playing this week. I don't think they got a shot. With that being said, somebody on this panel, either the invisible guy or a guy in a beanie, traded for a Washington running back this week. Well, last week, but
Last
this
week,
is the first week he's going to be able to use them. So he must be on that bandwagon. So I'm ready to hear it.
I'll tell you. Gibson's going to give me an insane amount of points.
Like, what, 4, 5?
Exactly. He is questionable. I'm a little nervous, but they said he should be good to go. But let's face the facts. Tampa's coming off the bye. You know that they want to get back into the swing of things. They lost to the Saints. They want to shake that off. They want to show why they are a force to be reckoned with in the NFC South. There's no doubt. Brady's going to go to Godwin, Evans, whoever he needs to go to get this. I also see a big game from Leonard Fournette. I mean, you're going to know exactly in the beginning of this game who's going to value for fantasy wise. They got to run the ball with Fournette. You get Fournette getting a couple good runs in there. You're going to see a nice day from Fournette. And that's the thing with this Tampa Bay offense. They can go all over the place. Who's going to get the ball this week? It's what me and Joe always talk about here on the podcast. It's who's going to get the ball. And I think that this Washington team trying to figure out who their quarterback is not very helpful when the Bucks, like I said, coming off that bye, coming off that loss, they're hungry. They want to put up some points. I see Tom Brady and company putting 40 points on the board at least on their side.
I will not disagree with that in one bit.
Thank you. Cardinals, Panthers. Cardinals are at home. Cardinals are angry.
Are they? Is your boy playing? Is Kyler Murray playing?
I don't know. I don't have him in any fantasy leagues.
Is DeAndre Hopkins playing? That would be nice.
Well,
That's
so what's Carolina's plan here? Because obviously they're not playing Cam Newton,
yeah, they're playing the XFL guy this week.
which we said. Do you think that he can go against Cardinals, or do
No,
you think this is just chalk it up? Cardinals are coming back, and there's blood in the water. Comment from Greg on Facebook says the Cardinals do cover. Do you agree?
yeah, absolutely. James Conner went off last week without Kyler Murray, without Hopkins. Now Chase Edmonds hurt, so it's all James Conner, and it's going to be James Conner all day again, probably, with or without Murray. So,
Gentlemen, we got
AJ Green has been activated off the COVID list too. If that makes you happy for some reason,
I believe I dropped him.
there you go. You're getting smarter at least.
You know what? I waited as long as I could, and then I'm looking, and I'm like, I gotta drop this guy. Especially we're coming up to a game that I'm very interested to talk about because a lot of big quarterback problems in that one. So we'll get to that in a minute. But so yeah, I definitely see it doesn't matter. Like you said, James Conner was a beast, and with Chase Edmonds not playing, I mean, if he wants to, he can make this all him. Hey, your video's back. I don't know what the hell you
Hey,
did, but good job.
don't worry about it.
Panthers,
Some
like I
of
said,
those fix things.
you're focusing on getting Cam Newton back into the fold and getting a good head on things. I definitely see, like you said, Cardinals winning by at least 17 points.
Fair enough.
Chargers, Vikings. Chargers are at home.
Yep. And like I said earlier in the Twitch response, the Vikings have 26 personnel, we'll call them, being tested for COVID today on a Thursday, not like a Monday where it's all week to figure this out. We're getting later in the week And if this turns out bad, this could be your first forfeited game of the season because with the way they ruled everything, it may force them to have to forfeit the game if it ends up being that bad because 26 players is legitimately half of your active roster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this could be one. I mean, of course, things could change, but this could be something like that. Or if they do play the game and they're extremely shorthanded, it's not a good look playing against a team. Chargers have been up and down, but the Chargers have offensive talent. It's not a game that you want to be playing against a team that could put 40 up on you anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also, if they forfeit the game, what happens to those owners with Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler?
Exactly. Any of those guys, Dalvin Cook,
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins. Oh,
We have from JMO over on YouTube. Mike White pulls up another good game. Wilson will keep sitting. Laughing emoji face.
yeah,
I
chime
think.
in on that.
What's up?
Chime in on that.
No.
Oh,
um. Do you think it would be so bad that it would have to cancel the game?
we'll get a better answer tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know how many of them are coaches. You got to remember with contact tracing, if it's quarterback, they traced with the other quarterbacks. The running backs traced with the other running backs. The linemen are all traced with the linemen. So that's why you can get big numbers of people. Like I said, the Browns, Chubb, Hunt's already hurt, so you wipe him out. But Chubb and everybody else except for Johnson, contact tracing, boom, you wipe out two of their running backs right there. So depending on how many are players, that would definitely affect things.
But clearly, a Chargers game through and through today.
I mean,
Or
I think if they're healthy, the Chargers should win anyway.
no contest there. The next game coming up is Eagles and Broncos. Broncos are at home.
Well, you start off because I'm just reading about the thing. A
We had a
vaccinated
comment
player was
from
rushed
Demo.
to the ER.
Zach Wilson will be the quarterback for the New Orleans next year.
Saints fans would love that. That ain't gonna happen though.
I'm okay with that. So Eagles. Eagles, what's going on, guys? Listen, I got a lot of friends that are Eagles fans, And what's going on over there, guys? I mean, Miles Sanders out, IR. You got Devontae Smith. Where are the points?
He showed up last week.
He did, but not consistent. I need consistency. And what is consistent are the big playmakers on the Broncos. And I think that the Broncos in obviously Denver will win this game. Eagles do have bad luck. I will agree with JML. I think that it's just it's a team that's lost a lot this year, and I think and we've talked about it many times, the disaster that is the NFC East. Like, can they figure out their shit to possibly still be a playoff consideration at a 6-win team?
Nope.
They lost a lot of close games, JML said, but no, they're not a playoff team.
No. Until Jalen Hurts quarterbacks that team, no.
And he's not?
Does he look like a quarterback to you?
No, but
Oh,
why doesn't his team get around him? Too many
uh,
divas, too many losses? What's going on?
no. He's just keeping the ball for himself too much instead of trying to throw the ball. He's not Lamar Jackson, I can tell you that much. He threw 2 weeks ago against Detroit, he threw 14 passes. Last week against the Chargers, he threw 17 passes. He threw 103 yards and 162 yards. Do those sound like winning numbers to you?
Not even a
Okay.
little bit.
You know, I don't know about you. I would prefer my quarterbacks to throw the ball.
Oh, 100%.
More than 31 times in the last 2 games.
Like I said, you have those big playmakers, Lamar Jackson, you have Kyler Murray, Pat Mahomes, that can make those moves and those runs when see fit, but they don't force it. And plus, also, obviously, those three next level players. We have a comment over here from JML. Eagles will have first 3 round picks if Watson is cleared. I can see Watson to Philly.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people are thinking that, including a lot of Philly fans. There's definitely going to be a bunch of people interested in Watson once his legal things, whatever happens, happens.
Do you think he
But
would be a good fit for Philly if everything clears and everything's good?
and they're still going to need another receiver to go with Smith, but Miles Sanders hasn't looked very good. They'd have a
No,
legitimate
not at
tight end,
all.
so they need to figure out running back. They need to figure out receiver. They have a tight end, so if you give Watson, first off, I get it. Watson had Hopkins, but Watson made other receivers look good as well. So yeah, he can make lesser talent, but they're going to need to add something. That is also true, but
I think I have that jersey somewhere.
you're in a city that wants to win. You need to step it up.
Well said. But I don't know if you agree with me. I said Broncos for this game.
I do.
Okay.
It's very hard to pick the Eagles.
Very hard. Packers versus Seahawks. Packers are home. God, what the fuck is going on with this quarterback situation in Green Bay?
Well,
Is
5
Aaron
years
Rodgers
ago,
playing?
this
Is
would
he
have been a
not?
great game.
Russell Wilson, his finger, all good. Doctors say
Yeah,
he's good to
Russell
go.
Wilson's
Will he
playing,
be
so
ready for Sunday?
that's
Are you
not.
playing Russell Wilson? I need to know these questions. I've been waiting to talk about this game and what's happening, Joe. What's going on in this game? Who's winning? Who's playing? Who's doing anything?
Well, there's two things we got to look at. One is you would play Kirk Cousins over him at this rate because you have no idea what you're doing. Two,
Kirk Cousins got me 23 points last week. I don't want to hear shit from anybody. That was brilliant.
so you're
Brilliant.
playing Kirk Cousins this week over Russell Wilson. Then Russell Wilson coming off injury might be a little rusty.
That's what I'm debating. That's what I'm asking you. What would you do? I'm playing Russell Wilson. When
So
push
you,
comes to shove, he gets the
you.
clear. It's good.
But I
You
thought
have
Kirk Cousins
JML
was the man.
going up. There's no good quarterbacks for next year's draft.
There's gonna be a lot of quarterbacks in the first round of next year's draft at this rate. Unfortunately, a couple of them are playing not well, not great, but teams are going to take a risk on them. But anyway, am I playing Russell Wilson this week? If I had to pick over him or Kirk Cousins, who apparently have 29 guys being tested, yeah, I'm probably playing Russell Wilson. Am I
But would you
playing
play him
someone
against the
else?
Packers team that's looked so good?
No, I would have played someone
He's
else,
Rusty Wilson this year.
but
Whoa.
but I don't get
I like that one.
I can't argue with you're the John Gruden without the racial emails and whatever of this. You're the quarterback guru. Oh, Mac Jones. Oh, Kirk Cousins. Oh, whoever the hell, you probably pick up PJ Walker at this rate. So yeah, of course you're gonna play Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson sabotaged me last year in fantasy, so I did not draft Russell Wilson because I'm here to win. Unlike,
So was I. And then a thing called fucking Russell Wilson looking like Rusty Wilson. Again,
yeah,
we'll
so
play
whose
JML.
fault
I
is
like that.
that?
But Aaron Rodgers might not be playing.
So what?
So you still think that the Packers will just pack it in and
Is Aaron
beat the hell
Jones
out of
playing?
Seattle?
Aaron Jones playing? Yeah. Devontae Adams playing? Yeah.
That is fair. What do you give this game? I give Packers by a touchdown.
How do you know? What if Air Rod doesn't play? He's look at the Packers by a touchdown.
Sure.
See, and that is why you're in like seven.
That is a
That's why you're in
great.
17th place in like a 12-team league.
I
'Cause
think you'll like this comment. Wilson will be a commentator in 2 years.
yeah, obviously you won't like this comment. Russell Wilson's going to be around forever and never leave Seattle and whatever else. Him and Papa Pete Carroll are never leaving.
No. They're the only bromance left. Belichick and Brady gone. Peyton and Breeze gone. They're the only ones left. Wilson.
Oh, well, we know who his first disciple is going to be, and you're looking right at him.
There you go. I don't think that it matters behind who's behind in
So if you're
quarterback. I
telling
think
me the
Adam,
Packers are going to win, why are you playing Russell Wilson? That's all I'm
because
hearing out of you is Russell
Russell
Wilson's
Wilson
great,
puts up points
but
when you
then
have
but
Lockett
then
on the
Jordan
field. When you
Love's going
have
to win the
DK
game.
Metcalf on the field, he puts up points.
Yeah, I want Russell Wilson to play because I have DK Metcalf. The point being is I'm being realistic. If Jordan Love's playing quarterback again, the Packers may win the game, and then I don't think they're going to win by 7. My
You
point
think
being
it's
is that
only by a field goal?
that you think
Less
the
than a
Packers
field
are going to
goal?
win the game. Yeah, there's a good possibility, but you're thinking that the Packers are going to win the game, yet you're still playing Russell Wilson. So was it going to be 45-42? What do we what is?
I see on his return, I could see a 23-25 game.
I guess
Easily.
that's enough. Well, yeah, you get excited when Kirk Cousins scores
He,
12
he's
points,
had a
so I
couple
guess so.
things. It's a finger. I think he's fine. The doctors cleared him by, I believe I got the report on Monday. Like it was immediate. He is coming and he is going to bring hellfire and brimstone.
Yeah. So Kane is that quarterback, is what I'm hearing.
Love couldn't throw a.
Yes, he's had no restriction in practice. He's playing. Is Aaron Rodgers playing? Is the what matters the most at this point?
And if he does, then it's Packers by 7 for you.
Could be Packers by more. Is Chris
Is this the
Carson's
game to
coming back
watch
this week? No. I'm just saying, Chris Carson's, is he playing? All these different things. You need him.
You know who I think is the must-watch game this week has to be Kansas City versus Las Vegas Raiders. I think this could be an amazing game.
At least 10 weeks in, you're finally getting smarter. Yeah, it certainly could be, and this is a huge game because right now, if the playoffs started today, Kansas City Chiefs are not in the playoffs.
Agreed.
And the Raiders are. So it's a big game for the Raiders to prove that they're legit.
And
the
they're
Chiefs
home.
need to get back in the game. They need to get back in the playoff hunt. They're in the hunt. They need to get back into the playoffs. We're getting expanded playoffs this year, and the Chiefs are not in it. Doesn't make any sense.
The commentary last week I heard was it's like, who'd have thunk that in like November we wouldn't be talking about the Chiefs being the best team in football. And at the time, I believe they were 3rd.
You could have made that argument because the Rams were really good once they got Matt Stafford. The Bills were really good. So you could have said, okay, maybe they're not the best team, but they are a really good team. And instead, they're looking like a really mediocre team with a lot of talent around them. And that's not a good recipe.
Chiefs have looked abysmal, which is agreeable, and Mahomes needs to pull his head out of his ... I'll let you fill in the blanks, audience. It's true. I don't think Mahomes is. He has good games, but he's not the Mahomes of yesteryear. He's not the Mahomes of points. Him and Hill last week, I think, got me in total. I don't even think 25 points.
Probably not. And that tough defeat to Jill.
It was a tough defeat.
I can't talk because I'm going to lose to her now, but, I also fielding a fucking.
My point being is,
high school team.
You have the best receiver, arguably, in football, and a quarterback who's been in Super Bowls, who delivers points, not delivering what he should be delivering. These are not the Chiefs, and Derek Carr over there in Las Vegas has looked good. And I've always been a fan of Derek Carr, and this is the game they need to show up. And they are in Las Vegas. I think the Chiefs just are white in the chat. They're abysmal. And we need to see why the Las Vegas Raiders are going to be the ones to say, no, we are going to be the playoff team in this division. Mahomes. See, my man. Raiders win.
Oh, he puts one
Waller
thing
will
that
have
you agree
himself
with,
a
and now
day. It will be Travis Kelce versus Waller in the ultimate tight end battle.
there you go. Not Mark Andrews.
No, not in this game, obviously.
Oh, but I thought the ultimate tight end battle would have Mark Andrews in it.
And it's also a great point. Travis Kelce has a number of drops. I mean, this we watched last week. They were missing easy catches that fucking you and me could make in an NFL game.
Not with bakery hands, but yeah.
I digress. I think that the Raiders will take this
Hello,
game.
Shannon.
What is that a picture of?
An Ewok. Being a Star Wars fan, you should know.
Sorry. So Raiders, I think it still will be a tight game. This will be a game that I will say is last minute, 3 points to win it. This is your team.
Okay.
Thoughts?
The Chiefs need to get back to it. That's all I'm going to say. They need to get back in it. Simple as that. Either they're going to win by 20 or they're going to lose by 10.
If the Raiders win Sunday Night Football, are the Chiefs not going to make the playoffs?
There's still enough time for that to happen, but they'd be headed down the wrong. They'd be headed down a one way, going the wrong way.
I think that will be the game to watch. Raiders win by 10. I will agree with that. I will definitely.
So I'm saying either Chiefs are going to win by 20 because they're going to be the Chiefs, or they're going to lose by 10 because they've been the Chiefs of what they've been. It's one or the other. I don't know. The running game hasn't been great at all, and it's not because Edwards-Helaire has been out, because Edwards-Helaire has not been good either. So that's not the excuse. It's been a lot of bad play by Mahomes this year.
Not as young as he used to be.
They better draft a quarterback then. Oh, man.
Rams, 49ers. 49ers are at home. Monday night game.
Well, we know what we got here. Matt Stafford, great. Cooper Kupp, great. Robert Woods for what he does, being primarily a blocking receiver, etc. Great. Correct, Shannon. Correct. So overall, great. Henderson's been good. He hasn't been great of late, though. So that's the only thing that concerns me. San Fran is what they are.
49ers to win.
God. I wish. I love Deebo Samuel. I wouldn't be mad if the 49ers did win. I just don't. There's just too much firepower. I don't think he'll play. If he does, it'll just be to get him some basic snaps. I don't think it's worth it for them to play him. Also, that's really silly because he comes out and says, I'm going to take a little bit to make a decision. And like 3 hours later, he's signing with the Rams.
He made that decision.
Is that the definition of taking a little bit? Take 3 hours or, what? I mean, they definitely don't need him to play. I would give him the time to actually learn the playbook. He's going to be their deep threat. Well, I don't know if I said it on stream or to someone off stream. There's a lot of good coordinators that are coaches, and that's the problem with today's football. The elite, / above average offensive coordinators all became head coaches because they were really good at one specific thing. And now they're head coaches, and those things lack, like the Kyle Shanahan's, things like that, where they're really good play callers and offensive coordinators, and then they become head coaches, and it's kind of like, you see it with Chicago, you see it with other teams. Nagy was a good play caller. Nagy is a coach. I know that. Shanahan was an above average offensive coordinator. He's not a good coach. And that's the problem, is all these guys who specialize, in a certain thing are becoming head coaches, and it's not working. It's almost like college football should be like the minor leagues, like where the coaches should develop in college, the head coaches, and then proceed up there. It's like, okay, hey, let's go hire this guy who's, you know, 45 years old, and we're going to give him a head coaching job. Look at Josh McDaniel. Everybody was hot, all hot for him. Then he failed in Denver, went back to New England, and then like Detroit wanted him, and then he turned down Detroit, and he's still just an offensive coordinator, and that's not been a problem. He didn't get it done as head coach. Now he's just kind of just, hey, I'm an offensive coordinator, and that's what I am. Not in the Super Bowl, he didn't.
Obviously, we're going with the Rams here. So I'm going to throw this up. Fantasy questions. We're here. We got you. I think overall, this will be. I don't see many upsets in this. I think what you see here, what we predicted, I definitely see will come to fruition. I'm definitely intrigued by the Packers, Seahawks, and obviously Saints, Titans. And you know what? I'll give some loving because I said at the top of the show, Ravens, Dolphins, because Mark Andrews is going to have himself a day.
And you know what? As much as I love Mark Andrews, and he just didn't make it to me this year, I want Mark Andrews to not have a day today, just so next week I'm gonna write it in my phone, like let Pete know Mark Andrews sucked, all those things. I just want that to happen just for this week.
Thanks,
Just be
buddy.
like, wow, man, those Dolphins really shut down Mark Andrews. They won, but Dolphins lost by 40, but Mark Andrews got you 0.3 fantasy points.
I thought you were going
Something
to
like
say
that.
negative 0.3.
Maybe he fumbled, who knows? The Dolphins D was, I don't want to say so good last year, but obviously much better last year, and to have Xavier Howard and stuff like that, I just don't know what happened to them. And
We
I'm
got
actually really surprised they didn't trade him. No, because even Buffalo has a really good D. No, there's no arguing that. You could say, hey, Buffalo lost to Jacksonville last week. Yeah, they lost 9-6. It's not like Jacksonville put up 45 points on them and blew them out of the water. Buffalo's D gets it done. If I thought, because Jets quarterbacks are coming off back to back 300 plus yard games, one was a 400 and then a 300-yard game. But no, this is not. Mike White's been a journeyman for a reason, and eventually that's going to catch up with him. Same thing we saw with Sam. Sam looked great the first few weeks of the season. Then he just
and he
morphed
did.
back into Jets version of Sam. Eventually, Cinderella will strike midnight on Mike White, unfortunately, too.
All I know is the Dolphins suck. Any final thoughts? Any questions, sir? Any comments? Anything?
Dolphins do suck. Their whole team took a step back this year. And again, you got another coach. Like I said, Flores came from the Patriots, defensive specialist. How's Miles Gaskins looking? Not good. Tua's always hurt, so it's hard to say that. But you know, the receivers are what they are. Gesicki's usually solid. Some of us trade him for fourth string running backs, but you know, What can I say about that? I get it. You have Mark Andrews. Whoop-de-doo. You know what? I hope Mark Andrews gets hurt just because you traded Gesicki for nothing. That's my new hope now, just to rub that in your face.
There you
Just
go. All the
just
hopes. I
because
hope
you
you're
have a
wrong.
top
You're wrong about Gronk. You've been wrong about for the longest time about Arizona being the greatest team.
that is true. This season doesn't make any sense.
Imagine if they had Herbert.
They should have had Herbert.
And then
That
this
was such
season
a
makes
thing
no
because
sense.
the same thing because the Giants wanted Herbert and then Herbert stayed in. The Giants took Daniel Jones, and then bam, imagine if the Giants with these playmakers had Herbert. And I don't even like the Giants, but they have weapons. They have legitimate offensive weapons. So imagine if a team like the Giants had Herbert. If he didn't stay in the draft, stay in college for an extra year, the Giants could have had Herbert with Galladay, with an always injured Barkley, with Tony now, things like that.
Even Sterling Shepard.
Exactly, Shepard, all of them. The Giants would be such a different team. Daniel Jones has his moments, but Daniel Jones again, he's like a slightly better passing version of Jalen Hurts. Like he doesn't rush for as much as Jalen Hurts, but for the most part, usually when he's throwing better than Jalen Hurts. Again, I just don't understand how Jalen Hurts throwing 17 passes in a game. That's embarrassing.
That it is. That it is.
Can't type in Jones. Daniel Jones isn't even on the thing. That's also embarrassing. But anyway,
Any other comments or concerns?
I'm good. Yikes. Nope, nope. You got any other questions? Go for it. Daniel Jones, who's horrible and only has 8 touchdowns, is ranked 20 in fantasy. I know it is what it is, but I'm just saying, as somebody like that is ranked 20 in fantasy is just. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Remember, every Thursday at 6:30, we're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all over the social media. So definitely check that out. Hit the subscribe, hit the follow, hit the like, all that stuff across the platform. Of course, you could always be a part of this fantastic chat we have where we go over trades and who to start and who to sit and just a little bit of fun thoughts on how the Saints are going to win 35-0 against the Titans. It's going to be bitter, sweet. Oh God, I'm going to just love every question about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Mr. J. Rush, always a pleasure, sir. I enjoy this. We'll see
Thank you.
each other next week, and we'll see all you guys next week. So have a great night.
Absolutely. Peace.